Each of the characters in the Turnstile represents one of the 8 songs on the album.
There is really good piano playing on this song.
Oh, I always thought this was a boring song. Listen to it again. It's such a boring song.
I'm gonna have to strongly disagree with Jason.
I really enjoy this song myself. Just the second it starts, I'm like thinking to myself, oh, this is smooth now. Getting smooth, Billy Joel.
Hey music fans, welcome back to Sound Lab Studios. Billy Joel is back, and we are going to be reviewing today Billy Joel's 1976 album, Turnstiles. Oh, sticker on there, I can't see. But this is Turnstiles. This is the one that follows up the last album, Street Life Serenader. And once again, we have our full panel here, other than Ryan's not on this series, but we have Jacob Martin, we have Jason the Old Millennial, we have Briar's Music Showcase, and we have Townsend 505, all here to go over this amazing Billy Joel album. So how are you guys doing today?
Well, pretty good.
Doing better.
Doing good.
That is great. Well, let's go ahead and go over some brief background information. So, with the last album, we had a little bit of trouble. Billy Joel went to go hide out in Los Angeles. They found him, and he had a terrible record deal he had to get out of. Thankfully, by the time he made this album, all of that had kind of cleared up. And this is kind of a homecoming album for Billy Joel, because now that all that was cleared, he didn't have to hide out in Los Angeles anymore. So now he could leave California and finally get to go back to New York. And you can tell he's happy on this album. You can tell that he's glad to leave, because most of the songs on this album are either a critique of what he saw in LA, or talking about how he just wants to leave Los Angeles and go back to New York. So, what are you guys' kind of brief thoughts on Turnstiles here?
I think this is an underrated Billy Joel album. I think it's a big step up after Streetlight Serenade. There's some really great musicianship on this album. The songwriting is fantastic, and I think it's a good little step in the right direction before his career really exploded with the next album.
For me, it's the worst album I've heard so far from Billy Joel.
Oh,
I think
What?
it's a pretty boring album. The songs are pretty boring.
Wow.
I was pretty disappointed with this one.
For me, this is when this kind of classic period starts to begin here. Only 8 songs, but definitely gonna have some good things to say here.
for me, this is kind of the hidden gem album. This is the first album to use his horn band. I really like it.
This is one of my favorite Billy Joel albums. As you can see, as a native New Yorker, of course, I'm going to be a little bit more biased towards this album. Billy Joel really grows as a songwriter, and oh boy, you could hear, like, Billy Joel grow as an artist, and you could hear what would lead to his next album, which is Stranger. I think it's a great album. I didn't expect there to be disagreements. I thought this would be a fairly agreed album amongst us Billy Joel fans, but I always like a good argument or two.
Before we get to our first track here, I do want to talk a little bit about the album cover here. This album cover, each of the characters in the Turnstile represents one of the 8 songs on the album. Other than Billy Joel, he's just Billy Joel. But without further ado, we are now going to get into our first song on this album, which is Say Goodbye to Hollywood.
All right, so this was a song I was familiar with before. Fun fact, the drum intro at the beginning was supposed to pay homage to the Ronettes' Be My Baby. That iconic drum riff at the beginning, which kind of gives it like this old school Motown vibe, which I really like. I do like the piano work on it, and you could tell the personal storytelling and writing the song. He spent some time in Hollywood. He didn't like it. Now he's going back home to New York, to where he does like to live. And I do really like that about the song. It's a catchy chorus. Really, really good song.
Yeah, this was a really good opener. Yeah, I really enjoyed the song. I didn't know this song, and I don't know if this is one that I should have known or was on the radio. I don't remember hearing it on the radio. So if you say it's supposed to be one of his big songs or something, I was not aware. It definitely was like the catchiest song on the whole album. I really loved the chorus. It was really great. Orchestra music, love hearing orchestra music. And I think the whole album, the drums are really good. I'm gonna say that a lot, probably on a lot of these songs. Yeah, so yeah, really, really good song. I really enjoyed it.
Right. I definitely agree with that. Yep. This has always been one of my favorite songs on the album. It was definitely one of the songs I played the most a few years ago. I'm not going to go too in depth, but it was a song that kind of meant a lot to me during that time. Long story short, I took a job that was going to get me into Hollywood. Didn't work out. I hated it, and I wanted to get out of it. And yeah, production wise, it's definitely really great. I mean, you hear that Phil Spector kind of drum beats, the same thing from the Ronettes, the same exact thing, which is always a nice little touch. Piano playing, of course, goes without saying. And Jason mentioned the drumming, and yeah, I agree. I think the drumming on the album is really top notch, especially how it switches up. Like you have cool percussion, but then once the song really gets in, you get this great beat going, and so that why this song always had a special place in my heart. And so it's obviously going to be my top 5 for sure. It's not my favorite song, but it's definitely a highlight.
Great opener here. I love those drums right off the bat. That bum, 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 bum. And then the piano comes up that boom, 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 boom. Really cool production on this. It kind of sounds like a throwback to like a 1960s kind of a song, especially when the string section kicks in. I can tell this song means a lot to him because it's about finally getting out of Hollywood, and well, we'll find out where he's going. See, he says on another song, but finally getting to leave LA and go back home.
I know this was gonna be a song we could all agree on. This is one of the better known songs on this album, and the catchiest too. I love this song, of course. I mean, yeah, it kind of starts with the "Be My Baby" drums, boom, boom, boom. Say goodbye to Hollywood. I'd say the most underrated of his hit singles. This is a song that my dad would know because he grew up around this time, but he wouldn't. No one nowadays would recognize it, and it's a shame because it's a really catchy song.
Track 2, Summer Highland Falls.
There is really good piano playing on this song. I love it whenever Billy Joel really can craft a really good tune on the piano. The song itself, this one's just okay to me. I think it's one of the weaker songs, but it's still a pleasant listen, especially because of the production.
I thought this was another really good song on the album. I was another song I'd never heard of, and I was like, wow, this is really good. Really, first two songs are really good stuff. I again love the piano playing, of course, Billy Joel, and I just really like the melody. The overall melody was one of the best on the album for me. Yeah, this was one definitely another really good discovery.
Yeah, I think this is another very pleasant song. It's one of the shorter songs, so it's not too much to say about it, but it's short and sweet, and that's not a bad thing. But yeah, the piano on here is really nice, and again, vocally is done really good, and of course, I really enjoy when the bass and the drums come in. I think they come in together very nicely. Also, want to shout out the portion where you hear where it's basically a bunch of wind instruments kind of going off. I think that was a nice little portion added in here. Really nice bridge section. Again, there's not a ton to say. I still really enjoy it. It's definitely a nice deep cut here, so I like it.
I really like this song, actually. This is actually one of my favorite songs on the album, and I feel like the first line is just so good. They say that these are not the best of times, but they're the only times I've ever known. Kind of talking about, like, whenever everything around you is bad, and people's like, oh, everything just sucks nowadays. It's terrible. It's like, well, that's what I'm living right now. I'm young. I guess the 20s have kind of been a mess right now, and young people hear all the older people like everything was so much better back in the day. But it's like this is all that I've got to see. So I guess that kind of resonates, and I kind of like the main hook of the song. It's either sadness or euphoria, so it's like one extreme or the other.
Well, I'm gonna agree with you guys again. I love this song. Another. Okay, Jason's 2 for 2 now. Okay, I thought this is where we were gonna start disagreeing. Piano playing is absolutely phenomenal, and yeah, lyrically it's awesome, and what a great melody. Very underrated Billy Joel song. I mean, I know there's gonna be a few. I mean, I know Billy Joel is pretty much a greatest hits artist. Like almost half of his discography is greatest hits, but you'll be surprised with the amount of hidden gems there are, though. Despite of that, that's another big highlight for me.
We are now going to get to our next song on this album, and that is All You Want to Do Is Dance.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't too crazy about this song. This is my least favorite song on the album. It's got kind of like a reggae style production to it. And so because of that, I was just kind of at like arm's length from the vocal work and the production to the point where I was bored by this song.
I agree with Jacob so much on this one. I really did not like this song for the same reasons. I didn't like Billy Joel's vocals. Like, I really like Billy Joel's singing voice on the rest of the album. He sings great. This one, I did not like his singing on it. And it had this, reggae style that sometimes reggae works and sometimes it doesn't. And it did not. I think the style and his vocals just really turned me off.
Yeah, understandable. I'll say it's also my least favorite song on here. But that said, I don't hate it. It's not the worst thing I've heard. But it is kind of the oddball in here. It's probably the one that's kind of is not like the others. Yeah, it's okay. It's not my favorite song on here. Like I said, and of course it's reggae. I don't mind reggae, but the one thing I always do enjoy about the reggae is that the bass playing is always on point. So again, it's not my least favorite song on here, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, if you've been watching our Rolling Stone series, Jacob and Nick and I at least are very hit or miss on reggae. Billy Joel does not pull that off here. It's kind of a really nothing song, which is sad because the rest of the album is fantastic, but this one, it's just kind of there. I don't hate it, but it's not one that I look forward to when I'm listening to the album.
I personally enjoy the song. I mean, it's one of those tracks where I like it when it's on the album, but I don't go back to it on its own. It's not one of my favorite songs. Let's just say that.
Well, that is going to take us to the last song on the first side. That is New York State of Mind.
And I think this song is absolutely amazing. I think this is a great hidden gem. Apparently, it's a staple of his live shows. I can definitely see that. Probably like his anthem of like where he was raised, where he grew up, because he's a New Yorker. I could just feel the passion that Billy Joel had in singing about the place that he loves, that he calls home. The imagery in the song I thought was really good. Vocally, this is easily the best vocals on the whole album, especially where he belts it. There's a great saxophone solo in there, and I think it's one of his most underrated songs, easily among the best on this album.
I liked this song, New York State of Mind. It definitely was like the catchiest song on the whole album.
Okay, fine, I'll put it back.
Oh,
I always thought this was a boring song. Listen to it again. It is such a boring song. I have a hard time getting through it. This New York State of Mind, whatever. Oh my gosh, so boring. Yeah, singing and piano playing, I'm sure is fine, but I just fall asleep listening to it.
It's New York State of Mind is one of Billy Joel's most beloved songs, and it wasn't a single, but it's just one of those songs that just became a fan favorite. Yeah, I'm definitely one of them. And really, the big thing that I really always enjoy about the song is just musically, it's just absolutely spectacular. I mean, just it's right off the gate, you have this very jazz-inspired piano, just setting the mood, and which of course the piano is is great, but then as the song progresses, it starts to get bigger, especially after when Billy says the line "New York State of Mind," and then it just like bang, it just pops into starts to kick in, and then you have all these saxophones just coming in, and it's just another one of the big highlights of the song. And yeah, it's just a song that always gets bigger and bigger. Once again, you have the strings and orchestra coming in once again, and this is definitely one of those songs where you can definitely hear where he's going, especially on the next album, because I hear traces of scenes of Italian restaurant on here, and I think he's definitely going to play with that again next time. So that's really cool to hear. And just after the song's over, you just kind of feel warm after this.
I've always loved this song from the first time I heard it. It almost sounds like Billy Joel is kind of channeling Sinatra on this one. I mean, Sinatra was another New Yorker. I'm fairly sure Billy Joel was big on Sinatra, but kind of putting some jazzier elements in there. The piano is very jazzy. Of course, there's some great saxophone soloing in there. Even just the piano intro, kind of meandering, but really amazing. He's taking a Greyhound, heading back to New York. And that's kind of what this song is about, being on a bus, going to New York, and just being like, I'm ready to be back in New York, and remembering all the places. He kind of name drops some of the places that he wants to be. And I love at the end, he kind of trades off with his vocals on the saxophone, which is really cool there at the end. And I love the bridge section where he's like, it was so easy living day by day. It's kind of almost in a different key there. Out of touch with the rhythm and blues. I love that section. That's when the strings really kick in and just kind of make you feel, ooh, like he really is in a New York state of mind. But this song is fantastic. I love it.
I'm gonna have to strongly disagree with Jason.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
Native New Yorker. I mean, this is heavy bias coming in. This song captures the state of New York, and no other New York song could ever capture that. Sinatra's version comes close to it, but Billy Joel's version feels the most authentic. For that reason, this will always be my favorite song on the album. For that reason, this is the best song on the album.
The next song on the album is the first song on the second side, and that is James.
All right, James is another really good song on the album. It's another ballad song, so we got two ballads in a row. This one is very simplistic. Primarily, it's like more of a keyboard-based song, but it's still a really cool sounding song. I really like the song lyrically. He's singing about his best buddy, James, and they both went on two separate ways, and he's wondering, well, how's he doing? Is he doing as good as he hoped he would? And I think with the emotion in the song, I guess it's like Billy Joel's equivalent to Daniel, the Elton John song. I think Daniel's a little bit more of a powerful song because of the subject matter. This is another good hidden gem on the album.
All right. So basically, there are 3 songs I really didn't like on this album, and this is the third of those 3. And they all are right in a row. I thought this song was very boring. You start with these 2 great songs, and then you hit me with these 3 really boring songs that I just couldn't stand, and it kind of hurt the album. I don't have a lot to say about the songs, except that I don't remember it because I remember being bored. That's all I remember.
All right. So I really enjoy this song myself. Just the second it starts, I'm like thinking to myself, oh, this is smooth now. Being smooth, Billy Joel. Another nice use of a soprano sax, which was pretty cool. Again, it's one of the more simpler songs on here. But still, it's a very short and sweet song, very enjoyable. Didn't quite get to the top 5, unfortunately, but still a song I really do like a lot. So, yeah.
I like this one. This is sadly my second to least favorite song on the album, but I like it a lot more than All She Wants to Do. No, All You Want to Do is, I'm thinking of the Don Henley song, electric piano sound. Super cool. I love that. But it's still a good song. It's just not as good as the other ones. Other than whatever that song is about dancing.
I've always loved this song. This always been one of my favorite songs on the album. Again, I'm gonna have to strongly disagree with Jason on this one. I love this song. I've always enjoyed like its simplicity and talking about James, and I don't know why I've always really liked this song. This has always been one of my favorite Billy Joel songs.
Well, our next song is another big concert staple, Angry Young Man.
Oh yeah, you can definitely hear his piano playing skills just in like the first. As soon as he starts playing, he's like going. I'm like, holy cow! I've never seen anyone play a piano this fast. It almost sounds like you're hearing the song at 2x speed, but it's not 2x speed. You're hearing it at normal speed. He's just singing the song super fast. I think to highlight the state of this character. Who doesn't really know what to do in his life. He's cynical, he's jaded, and he just doesn't really have a real cause or anything. And he's just like kind of rushing through frantically. So I think he kind of captured the mood of the song really brilliantly.
Yeah, first thing I noticed is that intro. That was some intro. That piano playing. Yeah, so fast paced. I was kind of like you, Jacob. I was just really impressed with when it started. I was like, oh, holy cow. So to me, it's like right in the middle. I think the drumming was really good and the guitar playing was really good. But I guess, I don't know, melody and all that, catchiness didn't really leave, not a song that left, an impression, I guess, except I thought it was okay.
Okay. Yeah, another highlight for me, of course. But yeah, it starts off right away with that piano intro like we already talked about, and yep, he's definitely cooking on that intro. Definitely is a great way to start the song, and then eventually the band starts coming in and adding some more drama. And once you get past the intro and get into the main song here, it's just like so many different switch ups in this one. Like there's many different styles he's using in this one. You can hear little traces of funk, little traces of Americana, even a bit of shuffle sometimes, and it just all works together for me. And again, just the switch ups really keeps me engaged the entire time. It's just another great standout moment. It's definitely another highlight for sure. And yeah, that's all I'm going to add to that.
This song is amazing. Billy Joel at the beginning is using an effect called technique called tremolo, except usually you don't use that on piano. It's more of a guitar technique. Guitar, you can just hold a note and just do that to play the tremolo. To do it on piano, Billy Joel has to use two fingers and go and while going it's just like, what? It's so crazy. And lyrically, it's kind of talking about this rebel without a cause character who's just angry all the time, has no real reason. Like, he thinks that he's doing the right thing, but he's just upset at the world. And he's just like, hey, man, like, slow down. Of course, he would go on to address kind of a similar subject later on in songs like Vienna from the next album. But I think this is a really cool song on the album, and it's definitely a standout to me, especially because of that cool piano part.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Briar and Scott. This is a big highlight on the album for me as well. I mean, the song itself is awesome, fast paced and all that. But the part that I think is the best is definitely that piano intro. Song that another highlight for me.
All right. Well, our penultimate song on this album is going to be "I've Loved These Days."
Okay, I love these days, and we're back to another piano ballad from Billy Joel. I think this has the sweetest sentiment on the whole album, talking about a special time in your life and just reflecting upon that. I do really like that about the song. I think my top 5 on this album is Stronger. I don't think this like fully grabbed me compared to the best songs on this album, but it's still a really good ballad from Billy Joel, and I still really liked it.
Well, I hope Scott doesn't edit my part out of this.
Oh no. We keep people's opinions no matter what they are.
I imagine him like editing it, so I'm like saying, I like New York State of Mind. Like
No,
somehow.
I only did that one time on the Led Zeppelin one, but it was for comedic purposes, and I put like, no, this is a joke.
Yeah, I feel this way about the last song. I guess I would say it was an okay song. Wasn't terrible. I liked the singing. I thought it was really good singing by Billy Joel, and instrumentally, I thought it was really good overall. Like I said, a lot of. I mean, the album is really good instrumentally, and all that. It's just not a song that I'm gonna remember a whole lot about.
It's kind of funny. I think I looked up Billy Joel actually talking about this song, and
Oh, really?
to kind of make it simple, basically what he says the song's about is basically a couple indulging in the 4 C's: champagne, Cabernet, caviar, and the best one, cocaine. But yeah, we have another piano ballad on here, and yeah, it's another wonderful song. Again, really nice piano playing, of course. Great melody on this one. Once again, you have the strings on this one as well, which of course I'm becoming a big sucker on this album here for those. Another good vocal from him, even nice oboe solo, which is very nice touch there. Yeah, I really enjoy this one quite a bit. Again, very simple, nothing too crazy in this one, but it's still very pleasant sounding. I really like this one.
Yeah, I definitely detect a lot of sentiment in this song, but interesting enough, I have kind of a different interpretation than what Jacob had. I kind of see this as Billy Joel's commentary on some of the LA excess that he was seeing, because this couple is like doing all this crazy stuff. Breyer talked about the drugs, of course, all the wine, and he even says something about like we're gaining weight too fast, they're spending too much money. He's like, we need to stop, but I can't because I enjoy it too much. And I feel like it's kind of him almost tongue in cheek by making a sentimental ballad, kind of showing like these people in LA have gone into too much excess. Is kind of what I got from this song.
Yeah, I think this is a good way to end the album. Not one of my favorite ways to close the album, in my opinion. Uh, it's good, but it kind of like the third track. All I want to do is dance and all that. It's just not one of those songs that I would go back to.
All right, well, that is going to get into the big epic album closer, which is another live staple back in the day. Of course, he doesn't play it a lot nowadays, but this is the song that he would always open up his concerts with back in the day, and it's the first song on his live album, Songs in the Attic, and that is Miami 2017.
Yeah, this is a really awesome album closer. It's got like this really cool, moody intro of him playing the piano, him singing the lyrics, "Seen the lights go out on Broadway," and then it becomes like this insane rock song. It really picks up. Has a lot of sci-fi imagery in the song, which is really cool. Almost feels like you're watching a disaster movie at times when listening to it. And I thought this was a great album closer.
I agree. I thought it was a good album closer to the album, or song closer to the album, whatever. Yeah, I kind of same thing. I really like that. It starts kind of slow, and then it picks up and gets faster, and yeah, it's more rocking, I guess, at the end. I do love that build. I love a song that builds. It goes from soft to loud. I really like that. So I really enjoyed that about the song overall, and they had kind of this epicness that kind of made it good for a closer, I think.
Yeah, I agree. This is definitely a highlight for me. And interesting, I was listening to this song not too long ago on the bus. Anyway, but yeah, I've always loved this one. Again, this was like a rediscovery for me, not very recently. Again, once it starts out a little bit eerie at first, like they're like, okay, what's this tone we're going for? But then once the actual melody comes in, I just remember thinking to myself, oh my God, this is one of the most beautiful pianos I've heard in my life. We all know once the song starts rocking out, that's when everything gets let loose. You can tell everyone's having fun, just jamming to this one. This is where I feel the guitars were definitely the most prominent. And I think that was also a great thing about this track. The guitar playing on this one was really good. Again, you have more of that excellent saxophone playing that we've heard before. And it's just an epic way to close out. So yeah, I'm in agreement. This is an excellent way to close out the album. Definitely a highlight for sure.
This song is really cool. It has some ominous synthesizers at the beginning, just kind of like. It's kind of creepy, but then this cool piano comes in, kind of lightens the mood, and then it's just kind of Billy Joel singing with the piano. But then the tempo picks up, and lyrically, this song is kind of Billy Joel imagining an apocalypse situation where New York gets destroyed, the mafia takes over Mexico, and everyone has to move to Florida. But Billy Joel's basically saying, even when the world ends, New York goes out rocking. Wow, that was a really cool way to end this album.
Yeah, I have to agree. This is an epic song to close out the album. Definitely much better than the last song. I mean, yeah, what an epic song. It's one of those songs where it's like, I wish he still was doing this live, because this is like a great hidden gem epic on an album that I think not many Billy Joel fans really talk about in the first place. It's a shame. It's a shame. It really is a shame. And I'm sure if I ask him about it now, if I ever did meet him, he'd probably be like, Miami 2017. Like you probably forget about it, but very, very underrated epic. Definitely great hidden gem.
Okay, that is the end of the album. So let's find out. What songs do you guys like the best on this album? What's your top 5?
All right, my top 5. Number 5, I'm going with James. Number 4, Miami 2017. Number 3, Angry Young Man. Number 2, Say Goodbye to Hollywood. And my favorite song on the album, I'm going with New York State of Mind.
All right, number 5, I'm going with Angry Young Man. Number 4, I've Loved These Days. 3, Miami 2017. 2, Summer Highland Falls. And number 1, Say Goodbye to Hollywood.
My number 5, I have I Love These Days. Number 4, Angry Young Man. Number 3, Say Goodbye to Hollywood. Number 2, New York State of Mind. And my number 1 is going to be Miami 2017.
It's a good one. My number 5 is going to be Say Goodbye to Hollywood. My number 4 is going to be Summer Highland Falls. Number 3, Miami 2017. Number 2, Angry Young Man. My number 1 is going to be New York State of Mind.
Hey. Number 5, Miami 2017. Number 4, Say Goodbye to Hollywood. Number 3, James. Number 2, Angry Young Man. And my favorite song on the album is, like should be obvious, New York State of Mind.
Well, that's 3 for New York State of Mind. But I definitely
and Brian had it in this as his second favorite. So
1 for Miami. For New York.
I can get Miami 2017 and Say Goodbye to Hollywood too, though. Those are great songs.
For once, I'm not the odd one out with the popular opinion. I actually feel nice. It actually feels nice to be in the majority for once.
The majority.
As Bob Dylan would say, how does it feel? But what's our thoughts on this album as a whole? What are we going to give this as a score out of 10?
Like I said at the beginning, I think this is a very underrated album. A lot of these songs I don't think too many people talk about, with the exception of, I guess, New York State of Mind's a popular song that I discovered for the first time. Say Goodbye to Hollywood, but that's about it. Yeah, really great stuff on it. I think this is a good kind of like transitional album from early Billy Joel to big superstar Billy Joel. Some great craftsmanship on this album. I think there was a slight dip at the beginning after Say Goodbye to Hollywood. Like I said, I wasn't a fan. I'm not crazy on Summer Highland Falls. It was just okay. And I didn't like All You Want to Do Is Dance. But the rest of the album is really, really good. and it's a really good underrated Billy Joel album. Goes through pretty good, even with the 8 songs. I'm gonna go 9 out of 10. Really strong album.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't a big fan of this album. I didn't think it was terrible necessarily. I guess I came down to 3 songs I really liked on here, 3 songs I really did not like on here, and there's only 8 songs, so that's a big hit when you have 3 really bad songs on an album that doesn't have very many songs on it, and it really didn't have it doesn't have a hit song like the last album. It just doesn't have like a really big hit song that really, or a couple, like you're gonna get, soon. You're gonna get some huge hits hitting you. That's why I'm going with a 7 out of 10, which is the same score I get Piano Man. But Piano Man has Piano Man on it, so that makes it a little bit better than this album. But both of them, I don't know, they've just been not as memorable songs for me compared to the first and the third album, which I guess that's a hot take because people don't like those albums as much as I do. But yeah.
So, like I said, it's an album I knew I liked when I first heard it, but it had been a long time, and so getting a chance to rediscover this album again, it really reminded me like there was definitely a lot of good hidden stuff on this one. Again, I think the songwriting is really another notch in the right direction, and just musically, it's evolved since the last one, and so clearly, as of now, this is his best album so far, but of course, not going to be my favorite for long in the series. But as of now, I got to give this, I can't quite give it a 10 because, again, I'm not that crazy about All I Want to Do Is Dance. And, pretty much the songs that didn't make the top 5, well, Summer, Highland Falls, and James are good songs, but just not quite up to snuff as the top 5. So with that, again, I'm very close to a 10, but now it's going to get a 9.5 for me. But still, really good one. Definitely good step in the right direction.
Yeah, this is my favorite Billy Joel album up to this point. I like all of them to some degree. I was kind of with Jason and Nick that I like the first one more than most people. I think Piano Man is a little bit of a drop in quality, but I still like a lot of the stuff on there, like Billy the Kid and You're My Home, stuff like that. Street Life Serenade is probably his worst album, objectively speaking. Don't really like a lot of the stuff on there. But this one, I like most of the stuff here. The only one that I'm not too crazy about is All You Want to Do Is Dance. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay, well, for me, going back to my last 3 scores, the first album, I gave a 10 out of 10. Still stand by that. I think that's a really good debut album. Second album, I think I gave it around a 4 or a 5 out of 10. I think besides the singles with the Piano Man and the really great You're My Home, it's a couple of okay songs and a couple of really lousy songs. And then the last album, I think I gave a 1 out of 10 to. Really didn't like that album. This album, Billy Joel, I'm happy to say you are back in the 10 out of 10 column. I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. I liked every song on this album. Even my least favorite songs on this album. All I Want to Do is Dance and the name of that song. I've Loved These Days. Besides those 2 songs, all 6 of these songs are just amazing Billy Joel song after the other. Some great deep cuts, and yeah. And it has arguably one of my favorite Billy Joel songs of all time, New York State of Mind. So yeah, got to give it a 10.
All right. Let's go ahead and do some average calculation. That's going to give us about an average of a 9 out of 10. So still pretty good. Well, I've loved this day. That's a terrible pun. But I really did enjoy making this Billy Joel video here. Glad to finally get into what I would consider the good albums after we got some of those not as good ones out of the way at first. Next album is The Stranger, his best-selling album, and pretty much it's like his Thriller. Every song on there was pretty much a huge hit. And so I'm excited to cover that one. But until we see you next time for Billy Joel, remember, music is art and art is expression. Maybe check out some of our Foreigner videos, some of the other videos that we're doing, the Rolling Stone series with Jake and Jacob, and some of the other videos that we've been up to. Check those out. We will see you next time. Bye.